Hello. Did you know that as of March 22nd, 2017, our oceans had roughly 5.25 million particles of plastic, weighing about 270,000 tons? As according to Neil McCartney, a data journalist for Statistica.com, so to better understand this, a car weighs about 2 tons. So that is to say that the global plastic pollution in our oceans is about 135,000 cars. Bottled water is polluted with tiny microplastics. The reason why this is important is that having a clean source of water is a global concern. As with the increasing amount of global population is an increasing amount of global pollution, and that pollution enters our oceans. And so there is a very limited amount of clean water available for many people. Many people have trouble accessing clean water from a sustainable source. So today we're going to talk about how bottled water is polluted with microplastics and why we need to stop drinking bottled water. To begin, bottled water is full of microplastics. Now, the use of bottled water has increased exponentially over the last couple of years as people are needing it because of natural disasters, not having water, a good water source available, such as floods, forest fires, hurricanes, tornadoes, and because that the global population is dramatically increasing, so there is a need for clean water because of global pollution. Our waters, our rivers, our streams are not as clean as they used to be. So there is a need for people to have a clean water source. According to a research study called the Synthetic Polymer Contaminations in Public Water by the Frontier Chemistry, 93% of 259 bottles of water that were tested positive for microplastics. Now, that is not to say that it tested for one single grain of a microplastic. No, these bottles of water tested exponentially high for microplastics. Now, to better understand what this study means, we're going to define what microplastic is. A microplastic is a tiny plastic particle measuring less than 5 millimeters, but is harmful to aquatic life, as obtained from the National Ocean Service under the NOAA, or the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Now that we know that bottled water is full of microplastics, why would we drink it? If you had to choose between muddy water and clean, fresh, crisp water, what would you choose? Or if you had to choose between glitter water, where you can see the tiny particles, and clear, clean water, what would you choose? If you would always choose the clean water, why would you want to drink bottled water that is full of tiny plastic particles? Which brings us to our next point. We need to stop drinking bottled water. While the effect of microplastics is unknown, the thing is that we don't know what it will do. 20, 30 years from now, will it affect our digestive systems? Will the plastic entering into our bodies and possibly our bloodstream affect us? Will we get cancer? We don't know, and that's why the unknown of not knowing how microplastics will affect our bodies is so dangerous. Now, bottled water is the main alternative source for many peoples, but the thing is, it needs not to be the main source. Now, if we move from bottled water to other sustainable filters such as Berkey or Zero Water filters, we can have a cleaner water. Berkey and Zero Water filters filter out microbes, bacteria, heavy metals, chemicals, so that all that is left is an uncontaminated clean water. According to Earth911.com, which is a community advocating for sustainable earth practices that reduce our carbon footprint, Berkey or Zero Water filter would dramatically decrease the number of plastic that is entering our oceans. In conclusion, we talked about how bottled water is polluted with microplastics. And then we talked about how bottled water is, and how because bottled water is so full of microplastics, we need to stop using bottled water. And we need to switch over from bottled water to sustainable filters provided by Berkey and Zero Water that filter everything out so that all that is left is a clean, uncontaminated water. Now, if everyone used a filter instead of bottled water, think of how great the impact of how less the level of plastic pollution entering our oceans would be. What will you choose next? Bottled water? Or will you go out and buy a Berkey or Zero Water filter? Thanks.